Hey, reviews,
Back up in here, yo.
and this is the spoiler section. How does it end?
Spoilers in your face.
For Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, Quentin Tarantino's last film.
9 of them.
Thank you all once again for all the likes, comments, and you new subscribers. If you're new to the channel, feel free to do so. Leave us a comment down below. If there's anything you want us to review, let you know how it ends, and talk about spoilers. Let's get into it.
Subscribe.
I can't believe you actually killed everyone off in one film.
I mean, no. Yeah,
Jeez.
he met with the director at the end, yo.
So it's pretty wild. So we're treated to this 2 hours and 20 minutes of like storytelling.
Yeah.
To see a 20 some odd 7-minute ending of a little bit of action and a very basic setup to where he finally meets this director.
That moved in next door like 2 weeks ago or something like that.
Over 6 months ago.
Yeah, it was 6 months ago. They moved in. Oh, yeah, because it's been a time change.
And then he finally meets him. And that's likely how he revitalized his career, by meeting Roman Polanski, because his mistress, I'm not really sure what Margot Robbie's...
She's his new wife.
Yeah, but she has a baby by another dude, I think.
They never really said... They never really explained her part of the movie. Like, they kind of
that guy
follow
does
her.
Initially, right? When he talks about, like, the three of them, how it's like,
Whoa,
those two hooked up, then those two got together.
The one guy
now they're inseparable.
He's staying around if Polanski messes up,
yeah,
he can get with her, but they're still there, so...
Yeah, so it's crazy, because, like, Roman's always gone directing movies, but he's always over at the house.
Yeah.
So, anywho, so basically, it was a very long story about how Rick Dalton's character finally gets contact in Hollywood to kind of keep his career going, and then in turn keep his relationship with Cliff going, because he's like concerned that, I can't pay for you anymore now that I got a wife. Like, I'm not gonna be able to afford you. I'm barely gonna be able to afford this house. So my plan is we're gonna sell this place, move into a condo down in someplace else, and then see where it goes from there. I'm sorry.
Yeah. After he's like been, like for some years,
9 years,
been together, and then also been his driver because of DUIs. He can't actually drive, which I don't know how that can do when he actually if he was to let him go. Like, does he have
to drive?
His wife has to drive him?
Was from Italy?
Yeah. Does it speak English?
Well, she kind of does, right? At the end, where she's like, "You don't break into my house, you mother!"
And that's like the only English she says in the movie, because the cops like interviewing her. She's just like,
"Oh, that's funny." Oh, okay. Also, let's talk about the last 20 minutes of the film. Wow. Okay.
That's
freaking wow.
You had to have classic Tarantino gore in a movie. You can't go without that.
Okay. Premise set up, since we're talking clearly about the end of the film right now, we'll go back and talk about the beginning, but I really want to talk about the end. So, okay, I'm lying. Overall, as you start watching this film, if you're slightly familiar with what was going on in Hollywood at that time, you start thinking, yo, is Tarantino about to talk about the Charlie Manson killings? It looks like he's about to talk about Charlie Manson killings. And like the cult following stuff that was going on in Hollywood in the late 60s. So you're starting to watch some things unfold. Yeah. It drops little hints, and you're like, wait a minute, he's not known for telling like historically accurate stuff.
Yeah.
So what's going to be the twist? The twist is, mofos, is that freaking Brad Pitt's character, right? Cliff Booth, this amazingly badass Marine stunt that was in the war and somehow killed his wife and got away with it.
Yeah, she got annoyed. She on a boat, and supposedly might have killed her. They just couldn't prove the fact that he killed her. Because it was. And even in the flashback they show, you don't really see him kill her. You can just see kind of him like, should I just kill her right now?
Not being pleased with her comments.
Yes.
What? You don't even want to argue anymore?
And he's sitting there with a spear gun, like,
And he already has his mask on.
Yeah.
So, anywho, fast forward to the end of the film. Earlier in the movie, Rick's character finds out that Cliff, Brad Pitt's character, has scored a acid-laced cigarettes.
Yes.
And he's like, might as well smoke it because the last time we're gonna be hanging out.
Yeah.
You're not gonna be my boss anymore. Let's get this train rolling. So he smokes it, walks the dog, During that time, Rick stops these people in a smoky old car that were going to actually drive up to where Sharon Tate's.
Yeah, Sharon Tate and Pulaski.
Yeah, Pulaski were in them were. So they back up, they have this conversation, and they're basically there to kill the pigs in Hollywood.
Yeah.
Right?
So basically everybody that used to live in Clancy's house, which was, they wanted to kill them. Like, oh, we'll just kill whoever's there now.
Yeah, I think they said like Terry and someone else.
Yeah, they're like, we'll kill them now. And then basically Rick Dalton walks out and was like, what are you hippies doing out here?
Yeah.
Go out, leave before I call the cops.
And he gives them a rough time, and they back down to the very end of the street. They have this conversation about how they're there to kill all the pigs in Hollywood for living their fascist, lives.
They're like, do you know what that was?
Yeah.
They just yelled at us?
And he's like, I used to have a lunchbox. And some other chick,
Rick Dalton.
Some other chick in the back is like, I had this, I was riffing and I was really deep. And I was thinking that all these people taught us about killing and murdering people and violence. So it's only right
that we should kill the people that taught us how to kill.
And everyone thinks that's an amazing idea in the car. Yeah.
So they're like, we're going to go kill Rick Dalton.
Also happens to be all the same people from the cult-ish Spawn movie ranch.
Yeah.
Where
they filmed
a lot of his old films before.
And this TV show that made him famous.
Bounty Law.
Bounty Law.
So when they break in, Cliff Booth's character is like,
hey, do I know y'all?
Yeah, you're white pale face. I could never forget. And you're red hair. And what do they call you? With some really stupid name, something like
Hex.
And then he's like, I'm the devil, and I'm here to do something. And he's like, no, it wasn't that stupid. It was.
It's just like, Texas, get him. Texas.
Tex, that's your name, Tex. Yeah. And so. It clicks because Brad Pitt's character thinks technically he was tripping for a moment because of acid.
Because he's like, are y'all for real? Like, you guys really here?
Here. And so it hits the fan when he realizes that they're really there to kill him. And he goes, and the dog attacks him, starts mauling him. The crazy girl with the white pale face charges him with this really large butcher knife. And he beams her straight in the nose with his can of dog food.
Just breaks all of that.
Collapses the nose. And then the Italian lady who's going to be Rick's wife is like, hey, bam! And Dex home chick, and she pops back up with the knife like, ah!
She's like, I'm going back to my room.
Yeah, she runs back to the room. She then charges at Cliff's, Brad Pitt's character, and they both fall towards a fireplace. Cliff is like, oh man, and the chick is like looking at him. They look down, and he's like, that knife is really in me. So she stabs him in his like hip or like lower buttocks.
Well, the dog's basically mauling the other girl.
The crap out of her like this. He's already mauled homeboy's arm, his quad, and then his crotch.
Yeah. And
he stomped his face in. Yeah. I'm pretty sure he breaks his face.
Yeah. Oh, he kills him. So I mean, he does.
Yeah. And then this chick is ready to get it on with him, and he's like, "Yo, I ain't about to not hit this girl trying to kill me." Grabs her by her hair and literally proceeds to smash her face into almost
everything around him.
Every surface he can find. Starts with the phone. Bow. Bow, bow. Then the tabletop. Bow, bow, bow. Then the movie posters.
The fireplace. Then the table. And it's just like, all right, I think she's dead now.
Yeah, and then this drops her like, okay, I've smashed her face enough.
And then the girl got mauled, pulled out the gun and fired, and the dog runs away like, I'm not about to die here.
Yeah, the dog takes off. And then like Rick Dalton's character is like, I've been stabbed, and like just basically passes out.
Yeah, Cliff passes out. She runs outside where Dalton's on the pole.
Screaming bloody murder, breaks through the window, glass in her face. Yeah. And Rick Dalton is like, what the?
Yeah, he's lounging in the pool in little pool like floaty chairs, chilling and listening to the music. He's like, what the hell is this? The girl comes in screaming, and she falls in the pool because she can't. I don't think she can see because there's glass everywhere and her face is messed up. But she's in the pool screaming, partially drowning and shooting the gun. And he's like, oh no, this ain't about to happen to me.
And so he gets up, walks through the pool on the outer side, goes into the little pool house, and I'm like, yo, because earlier in the film, Earlier in the film, he's in a movie where he uses a flamethrower, which he calls the dragon.
Yeah.
And then he says, "No, I really used that. That was really me." And then they flash back again to show where he was training with it. He's like, "Can we make this less hot?
Can we make this a little less hot?" He's like, "It's a flamethrower."
Right. Okay. I mean, I was just asking.
We think that it's like, it's a flamethrower.
Oh man. So then he comes out of the pool house, and I'm sitting in the theater like, yo, if he comes out of the pool house with a flamethrower right now, he comes out of the pool house with a flamethrower.
And then she's trying to like finally get into like her senses where she can kind of see, and he's like, "You about to get this flamethrower?"
Because she decides to point the gun at him, and like realistically, it's a revolver, so she might not have had any shots.
Yeah.
But Rick ain't about to take no chances, yo. He lets her have it. Like
constant stream.
Yes, until she is toasty, barbecued, falls back into the water, and then floats back up, crispy critter style.
Yeah.
To which they're like, "What about the girl?" Was like, "Did you use a real flame?" He's like, "Oh yeah, I barbecued her."
It's like it was better when he talked to his neighbor, and he's like, "So what happened to the girl?" "Oh, I used my flamethrower." It's like,
wait,
I have my.
You have a flamethrower, and then he names the movie. He's like, from the 14.
He's like, yeah, in my tool shed.
Yeah, and I was like, oh wow. And that's how he gets invited to Roman Polanski's house, because Roman Polanski's wife loves him as the actor Rick Dalton.
Yes, in Bounty Law, and that's how he got a meeting with the hottest director at the time, which he's trying to revitalize his career, and that basically what's going to happen.
And that leads you to assume that his career is revitalized because of this crazy, chaotic, episodic moment in his life.
Yes.
Leads to him finally talking to his amazingly famous neighbor.
Yes. And which is basically full circle, because you see at the beginning when Clancy pulls up and he's like, "If I could just get invited to a pool party."
The right pool party.
One thing.
Back on the saddle.
Back in the day, like there's one thing that you introduced to this guy, and he basically goes this whole 6-month journey to when he finally gets to meet him.
Yep. And they hinted it though. They don't actually show that he meets him, but it's pretty much guaranteed that he's gonna meet him.
Yeah.
I also like at the midway credits.
Yes.
Where he does the cigarette commercial.
Yeah, he does the ad for cigarettes, and he's like, "Yeah, with less throat burn."
Smoother.
Smooth.
He goes on to say that his character in the film, right, would have had to roll his cigarettes, and he claims that the tobacco company's been around since 1802. So
Pre-rolled.
Now. They cut the commercial, and he's like, "Oh, this is disgusting." He throws them on the ground, and he starts stomping on it, and he's like, "And who the F chose this picture? It looks like crap. I got a freaking double chin."
He like smacks it and knocks it down. Like, that was the best part was the commercial at the end. Yeah.
That was really good. They probably could have thrown that in somewhere in the middle of the movie, which would have been nice, but it was good to see.
It was good to see. And you see him like on set throughout his career, when he does the filming of the one movie that he's like dealing with, and the girl that's so into acting.
Oh yeah.
And he's like, "Oh crap! Like she's seriously like about this life."
And it kind of makes him have a moment of like reflection, like, should I be into this as much as she is?
Yeah.
Like, why is this kid?
He's 8 years old.
Like, it makes him reflect. Like, maybe, like, that's probably why I got into acting. He kind of has like this moment where he's reflecting.
And then he has a scene where he messes up his lines, and he goes to his trailer to like pep talk himself. He's like, "You messed up in front of all these damn people. What's wrong with you?
You're embarrassing yourself.
You're embarrassing yourself in front of that little girl. I'm gonna go out there and I'm gonna show her how much better I am." It's like, if you don't do it right to all your lines now, you're gonna blow your brains out tonight. You do it
on the pillow.
You're gonna do it.
You're gonna do that. Is that what you want for yourself?
You want for yourself?
You go out there and you nail these lines. I was like,
wow. I'm like, is that Leonardo's motivation, or what's going on?
I was like, so pep talk of suicide, okay. Suicide or bust. Like, you do these lines or it's over.
And he went out there and killed it.
Nailed it.
Yeah.
So much so.
The director was like, "Oh my goodness, like that was so great."
I said I want to see evil Hamlet. That was evil Hamlet. That's how you act. That was even the improv. That was amazing. And the little girl, he's like, well, he threw her? That was really good. I wasn't sure at first when he made a suggestion, but it turned out really good. And he's like asking her like, oh, are you okay, by the way? She's like, I'm good. I got pads.
I just throw myself on the floor for fun.
Even when I'm not in character. And I was like, what the?
And then she goes, that's the greatest acting I've ever seen in my life.
Yes, so those of you who have seen the trailer, that's the part that happened. That's where it comes from.
And he was just like, yes. What's talking about?
You nailed it.
You nailed it. He's like, you gonna do another take? Like, no, we're good.
Yeah, and he's like, all right. And he's like, basically feels like accomplished. Even earlier in the scene, they basically are trying to tell him. It's weird because it shows you as an actor in this that the character Rick Dalton is struggling to believe that he actually is a decent actor because the director tells him, I hired you because you are an actor. Yeah. Not because you're Rick Dalton. Yeah. Not because you're the character from Bounty Law, but because you're Rick Dalton. You are an actor. And then like Rick Dalton's like, I am?
Yeah. Because at first he wanted to put all this stuff on him and he's like, well, I don't even know who I am. He's like, that's the point. They're not really supposed to see.
I want them to think that you're Caleb.
Yeah.
And he's like, you mean the character from this film? Exactly. And he's like, Like, he's not really sure because he's like, no, the whole point of that, I thought the reason why people want me in the movies is because you want to show that it's me from Bounty Law.
Yeah.
And this director's like, no, I want you in this movie because you can act.
Yeah, and then like when Pacino tells him, his character, like, hey, the only reason why people even hire you is because you're the guy from Bounty Law and they want to beat up the guy or kill the guy from Bounty Law to make their hero look better.
Yep. And so he like buys into that, so it's difficult for him to believe later on that this guy actually wants him in the movie because of his acting skills.
Yeah.
So it's like kind of interesting to see him go full circle and almost preps him for like later on. They could do a sequel off this probably.
Yeah.
I don't want to see one, but I mean they probably could if there's enough interest in it. I doubt Tarantino would do it.
Won't do it because he has one more film left.
Yeah, it definitely is not going to be Once Upon a Time in Hollywood Part 2. Yeah. So yeah, good stuff. Anything else you want to add? Any other little details you want to throw in there?
Well, Bruce Lee scene.
Bruce Lee. Okay, I'm a huge martial arts fan, huge Bruce Lee fan. Huge Bruce Lee fan. Let's just go on the record right now. There's no way no stunt double in Hollywood is actually giving Bruce Lee the business like what happens in this film, okay?
He barely touched me.
Right? He was not handling me.
He was not handling me. Whoa, first of all, it was not getting handled by him. He threw him into a car. He's like, he didn't handle me. He barely touched me. He's like, that dent on the car says otherwise.
Oh my goodness, yo. Oh my goodness. His whole speech about Cassius Clay and then fighting and how he would turn him into a cripple. Probably is something that he might have realistically said. He definitely would have got beat up by a stuntman because for some reason, I guess his set of Green Hornet was close by where they were filming. So it was very interesting to see that. That's what it was. It was an old film.
They're doing a film that he was on.
It was a flashback. My bad. Yeah,
he's in the movie, but they're like, oh, it's one of our stars. You're beating up one of our stars. He's the one who said.
Even the way he goes into the flashback is hilarious to me because he's up on the roof trying to fix his antenna, and then he thinks about it for a second, like the guy, Brandy, the guy from the set.
Yeah, like why would they not want me there? And then he goes to the whole scene, and then he cuts back to the scene. He's like. Yeah, I can't blame him. It's like, I can't blame him. I'm like, that's why they didn't want me back. I can see that.
Oh, man. It was great. That was good. And it's funny because Quentin Tarantino is actually a huge Bruce Lee fan. So it's kind of funny that he chose to, like, kind of poke fun that a stuntman that would actually, like give him the business, basically, like, beat up Bruce Lee.
Yeah.
We all know it's not true for us, our actual true Bruce Lee fans, because there's no way he would have tried to fight this guy the same way that he does in this, or he's portrayed in this film. Yeah. So, but it makes for great comedy.
It does.
Great comedy.
If I accidentally kill you in a fight, I go to jail.
Because these hands are registered as lethal weapons.
I mean, if anybody kills someone accidentally in a fight, they go to jail. It's called manslaughter.
Oh man, it's really good. It's a good little break from all the storytelling that's going on there. Yeah. I mean, it's more storytelling, but it's a nice little comedic storytelling break.
Which is, I still kind of don't really see the Margaret Robbie, her storyline, like what real impact it had in the movie, because they don't really explain like why she's there. Like, I get the fact that she's a fan of Rick Dalton, but they don't even build that. They don't ever show her actually liking anything that he's doing.
So the only thing I can think about from her standpoint, like her character Sharon Tate, is to show that she likes action films. Because of the one that she's in, The Wrecking Crew. With Dean Martin? Yeah, Dean Martin.
But then the scene, what she was doing was a comedy, the comedy relief. And so she's in there watching the comedy relief part because she was the klutz.
Yep.
And there was another part where she did action, but it's like, all right, but it still didn't really go. I'm like, okay, so I'm thinking to myself like, oh, this would be a cool tie-in at some point, and it never happened with her. And I'm just like, so why do we focus a bunch of this time on her story?
Yeah, there is probably like, I want to say at least a good like 40 minutes maybe?
Yeah.
Like, that are dedicated to her character, which doesn't really build too terribly much. So...
Yeah, like you don't see any like character development from her. Like, it's just like, okay, she went to go see one of her movies, and then she's having like flashbacks of like her like acting and stuff like that.
Yeah, but training for it.
The training and things like that, but like you don't really get why. Like, okay, then she hits like, she's pregnant, but once again, like there's like no real like story connection to Rick Dalton besides she was a fan, which they tell later on, but you don't know that, so it's like weird. Like, okay, you see it because it's the person that's going to make the introduction, but it didn't really make like sense.
It's very roundabout way to tell this interesting story about how he finally meets the wife of a very famous director and how his career will probably continue on because of it.
Because like her side story, like Brad Pitt, at least when he went off, the ranch came back because the people that came in to break into the house. Her story didn't really come back. It was just like, all right.
Yeah, even the part where they're saying like it was on a hot night for her and like the whole dialogue.
Like they went through like, okay, they went to dinner and then she and them went to dinner at like this location, but it really makes no sense why don't we know when they went to eat.
For a second, I thought
like they're gonna meet or something across or like
so like this is what I was thinking for a second. I thought the way he was gonna close this film was they all go into the house, and in like a couple seconds you would see Charlie Manson and his people go into that house.
Yeah.
That's what I thought for a second he was gonna do, and then you were just like cutscene. Like, okay, no one's there to stop him now.
Yeah.
And so these are the people that are gonna get killed.
I thought that too when they panned up before when he went up the ramp and they panned up.
Yeah.
I thought that maybe more people would come up in because Cliff's gone.
Yep.
So they're gonna come in and more people are gonna come in. But yeah, I did think that for a second.
That's what I was thinking. I was like, oh, okay, he didn't do it. Okay, cool.
Like he's just gonna have that meeting.
Yeah.
And it was at the meeting. I was like, so her story didn't really have anything because even showed like, oh, she changed and so she got more comfortable and it was just like,
and she changed back again to meet him in a football jersey.
Yeah, that whole scene made no sense because she wasn't even wearing what you showed earlier. It was just like, I don't know why you keep tagging, like you basically hired her.
And the Polish man smoked a large joint.
Yeah, like that whole, like it didn't make any sense, like the showing their night.
And Abigail played the piano.
Yeah, like their whole night didn't make sense because it didn't tie in. Like you could have just had them open the door, like that one scene at the driveway.
Yeah, it was really. I don't know. Like I don't want to say it was unnecessary. It was kind of unnecessary.
I mean, for almost a 3-hour movie, you're gonna have like a 40-minute story that doesn't go anywhere. I mean, you could have made it like.
I mean, we already get it. Like she's his neighbor. And eventually she's going to introduce him to Roman Polanski. We kind of can guess that. Yeah. So we don't really need too much side story unless it really is going to show like, hey, Roman, meet Rick Dalton.
Yeah, someone I'm a huge fan of or see something like this. Yeah. But they didn't ever really get into that or even get into like her developing her character. Like, hey, I saw myself in a movie, now I want to be a better actress or whatever it is. Or I saw him as an actor and I want to do this now, and you really should work with him or something like that. They didn't get to any of that. It just, you saw her story and it was like, if they took her story completely out, it doesn't change the movie.
Yeah, like there's nothing where she says like I want to do more serious roles, or I'd like to be in a movie opposite of Rick where I do X Y Z. Right? There's like nothing like that. So to your point, like I think you probably could have maybe not shown her character as much, maybe limited her to like 10, 15 minutes screen time.
I mean, literally when they showed her drive up and that's there, and then maybe one scene later on where he's working outside and that's it. Like that was basically the most they really needed to show her.
Yeah. Not dancing around and packing and then the dude making a sandwich.
Yeah. Like the relationship that they showed up the Playboy Mansion, you're just like, well, it really doesn't come up.
That was for sure. That scene was only to introduce like or to give you an idea. That was a very interesting way to say like she's married to this dude. She used to be lovers with that guy, and this is how it is.
Yeah.
That was a very convoluted way.
But you really didn't even know their relationship because it doesn't really come up.
Neither do the people in the movie.
Yeah.
Oh man. Anything else? Little girl killed it. Good job.
Yeah,
she does. Good job. Yeah.
That's pretty much all.
As a Tarantino fan, disappointed or not disappointed?
I didn't expect much on this one. I thought, okay, maybe it's gonna be entertaining. I didn't know what to expect, so I didn't have like a high expectation going in. Fair. I kind of was just like, let's see how this goes. So it wasn't one of my favorites. So it's hard to say. It's probably in the bottom tier. It's not as bad as I wasn't feeling death proof, but it's above that.
Yeah, middle of the road. Like we said in our original review, 3. I'll say 4, only from a pure storytelling standpoint. I was expecting more from the story itself, though, because he usually tries to do like ode to old Hollywood movies that people don't know that well, and he does try to go with very original stories, I think. So from that perspective, I'll give it a 4. It wasn't exactly what I signed up for, but then again, that's also why the harsh critic in me can only give it a 3.
Yeah.
So until the next time, thank you.
Thank y'all.
And we'll see you in the next spoilers. How does it end? Peace.